Yeah, good morning to all. Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. So in the last class, we were discussing about this problem. So I hope everybody has noted down this one. For the soil profile is given below. So determine the allowable bearing capacity of the isolated rectangular footing. It is 2 meter by 2.3 meter, subjected to a vertical load of 425 kilonewton and moment of 85 kilonewton per meter. So given fact of safety is 3. So try to determine the allowable bearing capacity of the isolated rectangle. Okay. It is unfortunate that still majority of the people have not given any kind of a feedback. So then I'm taking one step. So I'll be giving only up to chance of today. I'm closing it down. Those who has not given the feedback, so then I will not consider them for TA marks because you're supposed to give the feedback. Okay. So I'm again repeating. So you're supposed to give the feedback. You're supposed to let know the faculty what is your understanding about it. So it helps the faculty to orient the course. So those who has not given, please give it. So I may not receive it by tomorrow. I have to stop it. But for those who has not given the feedback, I will not give any kind of a TA marks. Okay. And I have also shared assignment number 1 on bearing capacity and with 1 or 2 problems on the soil exploration also. The 20th is the last date for submission of the same. Okay, so let us try to solve. Yeah, can anybody tell me the solution for this problem?
Sir, like similar only, sir. We need to find B dash and L dash, sir.
Yeah, so
And
the first step is try to determine the eccentricity value. So which is, how do you define the eccentricity?
M by Q, sir. Low that
Yes,
moment by N.
2. So eccentricity is nothing but a moment upon the axial load Q. So what is the value of eccentricity?
0.2, sir.
0.2. Very good. So eccentricity is 0.2 meter. So based on the obtained eccentricity value, so try to calculate L dash and B dash. L dash and B dash. So your L dash is nothing but L minus 2 times of E, and B dash is nothing but B only. So now what is the L dash value?
1.9, sir, but it will be reversed, sir, again.
Yeah. So let me first write down. So your L dash is 1.9 meter and B dash is 2.2 meter. Since after the implementation of the eccentricity correction, your L dash is less than B dash, so therefore it is reverse. So consider L dash as 2 meter and B dash as 1.9 meter. So considering L dash as 2 meter and B dash as 1.9 meter, so try to solve this problem. Okay, so you need to determine all the safe factors, depth factors and inclination factors. Anyhow, the load is axial, so all the inclination factors will become unity. Others?
Sir, for depth factors, sir.
Yeah, for depth
Hello?
factors? Yes, yes.
Sir, we have to take the value of B or B dash. Sir, B we have to take.
Uh, no, modified one, B dash.
Sir, it was written that for depth factors we have to take because
B.
we should take B, not B dash. So in the
Achha,
slide
okay,
it was
okay.
written.
Okay. Now then take B. In
Okay.
this case, it is okay. So let me see it. So first, this is what you have to do. Q ultimate is nothing but Q allowable multiplied by the factor of safety, or reverse. Allowable is nothing but ultimate divided by the factor of safety. So we know the equation for ultimate bearing capacity of the soil. So this is the equation for ultimate bearing capacity. CNC, FC, FD, FI and QNQ with all safe depth and inclination factors plus of gamma B and gamma. So here, as I told in the last class also, since all the load is going into the soil which is beneath the foundation, so therefore we don't need to consider the soil properties which are above the foundation level. Okay, but if you look at the soil properties which are below the foundation level, wherein the cohesion is 0. So that means, so this entire, the first component can be taken as 0. So therefore we don't need to calculate the safe factor FCS, FCD or FCI. We can only calculate safe factors for overburden term as well as the self weight term. So then if you rewrite the equation, taking C is 0, so this will become the ultimate bearing capacity is nothing but QNQ, FQS, FQD, FQI plus 0.5 B gamma, N gamma, F gamma S, F gamma D and F gamma I. So I hope this part is clear to everyone. So effective stress Q is nothing but gamma times of dF. Since the water table is at the foundation level, you can directly take gamma as gamma only, that is 16 multiplied by depth of foundation is 1.5 meter, that is 24 kilonewton per square meter. So next important step is calculation of the eccentricity, which can be defined as the ratio of moment upon the axial load. So this is very well known to every one of you because in almost every subject, especially in structural engineering part, you are dealing with this eccentricity. So it is moment upon the load 85 upon 425. What you will get is 0.2 meter. So next, calculate the effective width and effective length of the footing. So those are designated as B dash and L dash. So since initially given is 2 meter by 2.3 meter, so we will consider higher dimension as a length and lower dimension as a width. So therefore B dash is equals to 2 meter, and L dash can be computed as L minus 2E. So E is already calculated here, that is 0.2. So 2.3 minus 2 into 0.2, 1.9 meter. So this part everyone has already calculated. Now after implementation of the eccentricity correction, so there was a reversal in length and width geometry. So as per the suggestion, we should take B dash to be used is minimum of B dash or L dash. So here that is 1.9 meter. So therefore B dash shall be 1.9 meter and L dash shall be 2 meter. Okay, so these are after implementing the eccentricity correction. So up to this point, anybody has any question? How to calculate B dash and L dash? Because majority of you are still silent. I don't think so you are solving the problem. Okay, so unless you solve the problem, you will not be able to understand during the exam. All these simple complications will come. So I again request you all, take a pen and paper, calculator, solve yourself for better understanding. So then effective area, if there is no eccentricity, the effective area is a whole 2 meter by 2.3 meter. But in case of the eccentricity, the effective area is A dash. So that is 1.9 by 2, 3.8 meter. So then water table is at the bottom of the foundation, as you can see here, below the footing. So therefore gamma is equals to gamma dash, that is the density of the soil is 19 below the foundation. So 19 minus 10, 9 kilonewton per cubic meter. So another most important step is, since you are using the Meyerhoff's theory, so you need to pick up the values of the bearing capacity factors, that is NC, NQ and N gamma. So these values will be provided in the exam, so you don't need to bother. Now again, there may be a question arise in your mind. Since two variety of the soil profiles has been given, one soil profile is above the groundwater, above the foundation level. Another soil profile is below the foundation level. Okay, so here what pi value shall be considered for picking up the bearing capacity factors? So as I told and I repeating again, the soil which is beneath the footing or foundation level is only subjected to the loading condition, or only this soil experiences the bearing pressure. So therefore we should consider only the soil component which is beneath the foundation level. Therefore the pi shall be 25 degree. So corresponding to pi of 25, so NC, NQ and gamma are 20.72, 10.66 and 10.88. So till this point, anybody has any question?
No, sir.
Okay. So for anybody still, if it is not clear, so please ask me. Okay, so the more you ask, the more is the clarity, not only for you, even for others also. Yeah.
Sir, I think N gamma it is taken some wrong value from the table, sir.
Acha. What is the exact value of N gamma
6.77, sir.
for Meyerhoff theory?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, just please check it. He was saying n gamma is 6.77.
77, sir.
Okay. Others may please verify.
Yes,
For
sir.
Yes, sir. Same. 6.77.
okay, so please consider 6.77.
Sir,
Yep.
so once again, could you please explain why b dash is equal to b and not b minus 2e?
Watch. Okay. See, for example, our given geometry of the footing is 2.3 meter by 2 meter. This part is clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, suppose if there is no eccentricity, the length is always whichever is higher among these two. So in that case, the length is 2.3 meter and width is 2 meter. So without implementing the eccentricity correction. So, but in which direction you should implement the eccentricity correction? In width direction or length direction? Okay. So here nothing has mentioned. Now here the same problem can also be solved. So by taking L dash as 2.3 meter and implementing the eccentricity correction in the width direction, that is also possible. But here they specifically mentioned the eccentricity is in the 2.3 meter direction. So in the sum itself. So therefore there is no question.
Okay, sir.
So okay. So therefore L dash is L minus 2e and B dash is, since is already there is no eccentricity, you don't need to apply any eccentricity correction. And once L dash and B dash has been calculated, you need to make a small readjustment again. That readjustment is B dash to be used is minimum of B dash or L dash. So here it is 1.9 meter. So B dash will become 1.9 meter and L dash to be used is 2 meter.
Sir,
Yeah. Please.
sir, here E is less than B by 6, right, sir?
Typically E shall be less than B by 6. Correct. So are you getting or no?
Sir, so effective area, we should not be like that, sir, because stress is non-uniform, na, sir.
Yeah. Here in this case it is non-uniform. You will get Q max and Q minimum. Yeah. You can also verify. So what is your B by 6 value that you are getting?
0.3, sir.
0.3. So it's fine now. So E is less than B by 6. So that means it is satisfying the rule of middle third. So that means there is no possibility of tension development. Since it is less than B by 6 or within the zone of B by 3, no tension develops below the. No tension means no separation of footing from the soil. That is the meaning of tension here. But it doesn't mean that there should be Q max and Q minimum value. Yes. So since there is an eccentricity, suppose if you draw the profile, it may be something like this. So here it will be Q minimum and here it is Q maximum. So you may get Q maximum here and Q minimum here. Okay. Now as you are asking, suppose if E is greater than B by 6, if E is greater than B by 6, your this Q minimum will become less than 0. That becomes a negative value. So that indicates that there is a separation of footing from the soil. So that means that is compressed more in this direction and lifted up in this direction. We will calculate Q max and Q minimum also, no problem. Okay, since the axial load is perfectly vertical, so all inclination factors will now become unity. So you do not need to calculate the inclination factors value. So these are the safe factors. So try to calculate. Here I have taken another sum. Please make a small note. So in all previous equations, when we were calculating the safe factors, we have taken 1 plus 0.2 into b by L into tan square 45 plus pi by 2. In couple of the books, the same equations were written in another form, that is 1 plus b dash by L dash into nq by nc. You can use any of these two equations. There is no problem as such. Okay. So again, repeat. In couple of the books or whenever you refer to any literature, you will find two set of equations of the safe factors. One, let me show that equation. By two. Yeah. Let's see here. Here, in case of the Meyerhof theory, for pi greater than 10 degree, the safe factor equation is 1 plus 0.2 into b by L into tan square 45 plus pi by 2. Okay, but in the present case, it is 1 plus b by L into nq by nc. Okay, so almost both the equations give you close values. So first of all, don't get confused or means don't have any kind of a doubt. Both the equations can be used with the equal ease. The fundamental distinction in their derivation part. But yes, you might be getting a small distinction or difference in the values of the safe and depth factors. You may please ignore it. You can use any equation between these two equations. So first calculate the safe factors. So when you are calculating the safe factors, you are asked to use B dash used and L dash used. That means these are the modified ones. That means you are following effective area method. So FCS is equals to anyhow. FCS is not required because the first term is becoming 0 due to the cohesion component is 0. So calculate FQS, safe factor corresponding to overburden term and safe factor corresponding to self weight component. So safe factor corresponding to overburden 1 plus B dash by L dash into tan pi. B dash is 1.9 meter and L dash is 2 meter. So 1 plus 1.9 by 2 into tan 25. You will get approximately 1.443. Similarly, safe factor corresponding to self weight component 1 minus 0.4 into B dash by L dash, that is 1 minus 0.4 into 1.9 by 2, that is 0.62. Okay. So first calculate all safe factors. So these are the depth factors. Yes, somebody has rightly said, use the original dimension of B but not B dash. So df by B is 1.5 by 2, that is 0.75, so less than 1. And pi is 25, so greater than 0, fine. So these are the depth factor equations, FCD. Again, you can see this is another set of equations. So we can directly use the previous equations or we can use this equation, doesn't matter. Both are valid. So can anybody tell me, if we use the previous equation, what is the value of FQS? Can somebody quickly calculate and tell me?
1.468, sir.
1.468. Very good.
That is no, sir. I'm saying that is SC, sir. SQ
One,
and S, SQ and SR are 1.234, sir.
So here 1.234.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 1.234. And S gamma?
Both are same, no, sir. That also 1.234.
Oh, in that case, both are same. Okay. So then depth factors?
Factors 1.118, sir.
1.12.
1.11. Yeah, 1.12. No problem. Both F gamma also, F gamma D?
That also same, sir.
Okay.
1.12.
Fine, fine. 1.12. Fine. So you can use any of these equation with the equal ease. Absolutely, there is no problem. So now we have calculated safe factors and depth factors, as well as no need to calculate any inclination factor, because as the load is vertical, it shall be taken as unity. So anybody has any question?
Sir, here F gamma D, what is the formula, sir? Here cannot see it.
It is one only.
F gamma D is 1, sir.
It is unity.
Okay.
F gamma. Others, please note down. So I repeat again, if we use the equations which have been stored in this slide for calculation of safe factors or depth factors, then you are slightly getting higher value for FQS and lower value for F gamma S, and almost FQD slightly lower and F gamma D slightly higher. So as such, there is no problem. So now once the calculation of all the safe factors and depth factors are done, substitute all the values in the main equation, that is the QU. So what you get is 512.87 kilonewton per square meter. Can anybody tell me, is the value correct or something higher or lower?
It should be lower, sir. N gamma, it is wrong value, no, sir.
Yeah, true. So this N gamma is 6.77. N gamma is 6.77. So it is lower. And instead of 1.444, this is 1.27. So even please check this value, and this value. So I repeat, you can directly use the safe and depth factor equation which were shown in the previous slide, or safe and depth factor equations which we were used in the previous tutorial. Both are valid. There is nothing wrong.
$487.39.
Okay, 487.39. So 487.39 kilopascal. Okay, so others please confirm. So you are asked to calculate the allowable bearing pressure, which is nothing but ultimate divided by the factor of safety. Here ultimate is 487.39 divided by 3. So whatever the value that you are getting, so that shall be taken as allowable bearing pressure or allowable bearing capacity. Okay, but this is only one part, meaning thereby this shall be taken as the bearing capacity exerted by the soil sample. But since this footing is subjected to eccentric condition, so you need to calculate what is the Q max and what is the Q minimum. So first you need to ensure whether or not this eccentricity is falling within that middle third row. Okay, so that you calculate in both the directions, L by 6, that is 0.38, and 0.2 into B by 6. So this is 0.2, which is less than 0.38. So therefore, so the location of the load is within the middle third. Okay, that means there is no possibility of tension development beneath the footing. However, development of Q max and Q minimum is not ruled out. So therefore, use these equations, that is Q by BL into 1 plus or minus 6E by L. So this derivation of this one you have already seen. So when we were discussing about the footing subjected to eccentric load. So Q max is equals to Q by BL into 1 plus 6E by L. So Q is 425 divided by, here you have to use the original geometry, that is 2 by 2.3 into 1 plus 6 into E is 0.2 meter divided by L is 2.3. So what we get is the maximum Q max coming from the footing is 140.6 kilonewton per square meter. Okay, so this is less than Q allowable. So Q allowable we have already calculated here. So That is 487 by 3 means approximately 162 you will get. In our case it is 162. So 140 is less than 162 kilopascal.
Sir,
Yeah,
that formula is plus or minus 6E by B, no sir?
correct. If you put plus, you will get the Qmax.
No sir, B sir, I am saying 6E by B sir, not L sir.
Here the eccentricity in the 2.3 meter direction. Na?
Okay. No sir, even then also I think it.
If you take 2, then you will get a slightly higher value, or
Yes
6
sir.
into slightly higher value. That's it. You can also verify, no problem. Uh, that is 6 into 2 means 12, 1.2 by 2. You may get 145 instead of 140. Okay. So now there are two things that we have done.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, if the direction is not mentioned, then we should take the least of the two, sir. After calculating QUR, initially only we should take B or L, which is the least of two.
If nothing is mentioned, then you can take highest is L, least is B, as you rightly said. No problem.
Sir, in which direction we should take? In the B direction, which is the least direction? In that direction, we should take that the eccentricity is being active, sir.
Now, okay. So since you are asking, let us try to brainstorm. Suppose if the eccentricity is there in the 2 meter direction, so what will happen to the bearing capacity? Will it increase or will it decrease?
It will decrease.
It will decrease. So in that case, usually when we do any kind of a calculation, we always take the worst condition. Worst condition means we little underestimate the capacity of the soil. So therefore it is better to take the least dimension because you are safe. You got my point. As an engineer, the
Yes,
first
sir.
priority is whether or not we are safe. Okay, if you want to save, always try to little underestimate the capacity. So though the analytical equation is showing say 170 kilopascals, when you use the eccentricity in the width direction, so you may get say 150 kilopascal. 150 kilopascal. So therefore you are safe. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
when such a question arises, always when you joined in some company or in practical situation, you always look for which geometry is giving the least factor of safety. Okay, but try to understand. Again, it goes in a different way. For example, when you are dealing with the soil, you should ascertain that you are getting the least bearing capacity. But on the other hand, when you are dealing with the structural component, whichever is giving the highest load on the soil, that shall be considered. Okay, so it is both way you have to see, so that you are safe first of all. So for those who have some question, so she was asking a very beautiful question. The first of all here, it is mentioned that the eccentricity exists in the direction of 2.3 meter. So if nothing is mentioned, in which direction shall I take? It is better. So you try to calculate the bearing capacity in 2.3 meter direction as well as 2 meter direction, and whichever is the minimum, consider that as the Q allowable. Okay, so this is the first aspect. The second aspect is when you are calculating the Q max, that is the pressure coming from the superstructure, whichever is giving highest pressure, you consider that for assessing the safety factor. So these are the important points in all practical real life point of view. Good. Any other question?
Sir, if column is given in such a way that this moment is coming on the least dimension, then we have to take the least dimension now.
Yeah.
Like here it is not given which dimension it is there. Like is given only 425. And
No. See, here the moment is acting in the direction of the 2.3 meter. Okay. Your question is, suppose if there are so many number of columns, is it true?
yes, sir, like column is given separately, and no, we have to calculate the moment. And
Okay.
if
You
it is
want to
given
calculate?
along the least dimension, yes, sir, matlab, it's given along the least dimension, and we have to calculate the moment, and it will act in the least dimension. So like it is along the length now, and if we have, if along the breadth it is given, then
moment will act in the breadth direction.
okay.
Okay. But let us see another sum also.
So,
There is another one or two examples of similar direction. Yeah. So
in
just
the
note down.
in the previous question where we had to calculate the eccentricity in both like B and L and then find the Q allowable for both B and L. So which we had to choose the bigger one or the smaller one for B or L?
Okay. Okay. Again, you are repeating the same question. See, in this sum, it is mentioned that the eccentricity present in the direction of 2.3 meter. Okay, so there is no problem. It is clear. So when we have some kind of the question where it is nothing mentioned in which direction the eccentricity exists, so at least that condition will not arise in real life. But suppose under hypothetical condition, if you do not have any idea, what you do is you try to take the eccentricity in both the directions, calculate the allowable bearing capacity, take minimum of those two.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now that's not complete, because by taking the minimum of width or length direction, you are calculating the bearing capacity of the soil. Okay, but there is another component, that is the pressure coming from the superstructure, that is accounted for in the form of a Q max or Q minimum.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so this 170 is the pressure acting in the upward direction. This 140 is pressure acting in the downward direction.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I don't. Okay, see, this is, let me put in terms of the arrows so that you will clearly understand. So for those it is still not clear, so this 170 is belongs to the soil component, 140 is belongs to the the superstructure component. When somebody says what would be the my factor of safety, my bearing capacity, that is upward soil bearing pressure, must always be greater than the superstructure load. Okay, here we can see 140 is less than 170. Now suppose if instead of 140, if it is 180 and the soil bearing pressure is 170, what will happen? If the bearing pressure from the column is higher than the bearing capacity of the soil, what is the consequence?
Sir, actually we are assuming factor of safety, no sir. So it may not happen a failure directly, sir.
Okay, that's okay, no problem. Let us take some hypothetical conditions.
Then it may
Because
fail.
it may fail under what condition? Here,
Stability failure, sir. Stability failure.
why not settlement? Okay. Anybody?
We need to check both the sir. If settlement, we need to check settlement also, sir.
Yeah. So basically, when it exceeds, when the bearing pressure from the column is higher than the bearing capacity of the soil, initially there is a settlement problem, but there is something like each code says the settlement shall not exceed certain value. Say for example, one code says the settlement shall not exceed 25 millimeter. Now, if the settlement exceeds 25 millimeter, then this can lead to the stability failure. This can lead to stability failure. Now there is another thing also. Suppose if there is no movement, it is uniform settlement. Uniform settlement. Now under the movement, what additional factor comes into the picture? In addition to the settlement, is there any other kind of a danger?
Sir, overturning may be there.
Exactly. Suppose if movement also acts on the footing. So if you look at the base of the footing, if the load is uniform, base of the footing is uniform. Whenever movement acts, the base gets tilted. The base gets tilted. So this is called as a distortion. This is called as a distortion. So this is distortion angle, delta S. Okay. So the base of the footing also shall not tilt or distort more than permissible value. Okay. So this is also another important point when you deal with design of any footing. So there is something called as a uniform vertical settlement. Uniform vertical settlement. It shall be within the permissible limit. If it exceeds the permissible settlement, then it can lead to the stability failure. On the other hand, if the footing is subjected to both axial load as well as the moment, in addition to the settlement is obvious in every case. In addition to the settlement, you also need to ascertain for the distortion at the base of the foot. So this distortion shall not exceed the permissible value. So all these values I will tell you when I deal with shallow foundations of the settlement. So once this tutorial is over, I will start that. Okay. So now suppose if the distortion exceeds permissible value, what could possibly happen? Anybody? if the distortion exceeds certain value, so it unnecessarily exerts movement on the adjacent column. Okay, because all the columns are interconnected with the beams. So the distortion causes some kind of additional movement in the beam, which gets transferred to adjacent column. So this adjacent column, if it is designed for only uniform settlement, even that column also may be subjected to the movement. So for which it is not designed. Then there is again distortion. So ultimately it leads to the distortion of the whole structure, leading to the failure. So this is what typically happens. Yeah, so note down another sum in the similar direction. So for a rectangular footing 2.5 meter by 3 meter shown below, if eccentricity is 0.35 meter and Q max is 410 kilonewton per meter, calculate the factor of safety against the bearing capacity and determine whether the design is good or not. Everyone note down and keep solving the problem.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, how this kind of load will occur, sir? How it is possible?
At
This
least it is
point load.
no. At least the footing location itself is right here. It's not this kind. Okay. The original picture of this one is something like this. Okay, this is the original picture. And the above one is some kind of a free body diagram. From your structural engineering or something, you understood about the principle of superposition or drawing the free body diagrams. The same simplification. So also please note that the groundwater table is 0.5 meter below from the ground surface. In the previous sum, the groundwater table location is at the foundation level, but in this it is above. So here both pi is given and C is given, but gamma of soil above the groundwater table is different than the below the groundwater table. So above the groundwater table, gamma D is 15 kilonewton per cubic meter, and below the groundwater table, gamma S is 21 kilonewton per cubic meter. Swarupraj Chakradhar. So can you please tell me what is the status? Chakradhar. Sundi Satish Kumar. Shivam Kumar. Sheikh Abdul Arshad.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is the status?
So doing
Yeah. Can you apprise me what you are doing now? Sanket. So
Yes, sir.
yeah. So what is the status? What you are doing?
Sir, to find Q ultimate and equate it to the equation.
Can you please tell me the bearing capacity factor values? Yes, Shweta.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, this is inclined loading, no, sir. So first it is the value of Q max is given. So from the value of Q max, we can try to find the other values, sir.
Very good. Vemula
Sir,
Maunika. Yeah, no problem. Please carry on. Carry on. You are doing it. Correct.
okay, sir.
Vemula Maunika. So I could never contact her. Priyanshu Kumar Nigam.
yes, sir.
Good. Yeah, tell me what you are doing.
Sir, I am calculating factors right now.
Okay. Shape
Shape
factors
factors.
and depth factors.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Did you calculate any value?
Sir, FCS.
Okay. Okay. What is the value?
1.58.
Oh, great. Good. Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Parab Biswal. So logged in and went away. Pala Ravikant. So Narayan Shetty Akash. So logged in and roaming somewhere. Sriharshita. So logged in, roaming somewhere. Chaitanya Kirtana. Yeah, Chaitanya Kirtana. So effectively majority of the students, they are simply logging in and going somewhere. Mayur Dubey.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What you are doing, boy?
Sir, I am using the bearing capacity factors
Oh, great.
equation for calculating the shape factor.
Okay. Did you calculate any shape factors or depth factors?
I'm making FQS at both as 1.5.
Okay, very good. Please carry on. Manish Bisnoy. Lalit Kumar. Vijay Simha Reddy. Abhijit Kumar.
Sir,
Yeah. May I please know what you are doing?
sir, I am calculating depth factor.
Okay. Did you calculate safe factors?
Yes, sir, 1.56 and FCS 1.56 and FQS 1.54.
Okay. Good, good, good. Please go ahead. Aditya Verma. Amish Dan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Anurag Anand.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Okay.
sir,
So you're doing?
shape factors I have calculated, so depth I'm calculating.
Okay. Please, please, please. Arun. Arun, IIT BBS. Ashish Dev Dushia.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Arun, sir.
Yeah, yeah. I think you have some problem.
Yes, sir.
For your case, it is
Sir,
showing
I don't
everything.
know why. Yes, ma'am. Why? Yes, sir. Why it is showing every class absent, sir?
I have corrected it, no problem, but I also could not able to figure it out where the mistake was happening.
Sir, me neither, sir. I don't know, sir. I have attended all the classes, sir. I was not even told, sir.
Okay. Well, please remind me.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I am. Yes, sir. Okay,
So
sir.
that, yeah. So you should not
I
end
have
up
mailed
getting
you,
such.
sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
So keep
I am.
keep
Yes, sir. Yes.
watching on your attendance and please remind me.
Okay, sir. Hello, sir.
Bandaru Akshita. Banu Meena. Bukia Bhaskar.
Yes, sir. Banu Mina, sir.
Yes, boy.
Yes, sir.
So are
Sir,
you
I'm
doing?
trying to finding out the depth factors, sir. Starting
Achha.
depth factor.
Did you calculate the safe factors?
Yes, sir. It's both are like nearly equal, 1.5 and 1.5.
Achha. Okay, very good. Chidipi Bharadwaj.
Yes, sir.
You are there?
Yes, sir. I'm.
Okay. So are you solving or?
Yes, sir. I'm trying to solve.
Okay. Did you calculate anything? Say safe factor, depth factor.
Sir, this factor are like 1.5 or something.
Okay. Good. Okay. Uh, so this is the case. First, this is load with the inclined. So here you need to calculate the inclination factors as well. So as you know, the factor of safety equation. So Q ultimate by Q allowable. The same thing. Since you are dealing with footing with eccentricity, we have to take the effective area. So from this you need to calculate Q allowable. Q allowable, whether it is Q allowable load or pressure. Yeah. Okay. So then this is the equation. Since the cohesion exists of the soil beneath the footing, so therefore all the three terms exist in the ultimate bearing capacity equation. Since the inclination is 30 degree, the inclination factor gamma I will become 0. So the last term in equation will be terminated and equation will be so in this form. Okay, so this is load with the inclined, footing with the inclined load. So since you need to calculate the inclination factors, and if you look at the inclination factor equations, it shows the last term F gamma I will be 0 for 30 degree. So therefore the last term is ignored, but please verify one more time. So therefore only the cohesion term and the angle of overburden term will remain with the equation. So only two terms, and given C is 30 kilopascals and Q effective, see Q effective is up to a depth of 1.5 meter. But if you look at carefully, up to 0.5 meter it is dry density, and for the remaining 1 meter it is submerged density. So therefore 0.15 into 0.5 and submerged into remaining 1 meter. So total effective overburden pressure is 18.5 kilonewton per square meter. So then eccentricity already given, that is 0.35 meter. So the next step is calculate effective width and effective length. So again here in this case the eccentricity exists in the length direction, that is 3 meter. So your B dash is 2.5 meter, L dash is L minus 2E, so 3 minus 2 into 0.35, that is 2.3 meter. So there is a change in the values of L dash and B dash. You need to reproportion them such that B dash to be used is minimum of B dash and L dash, that is 2.3 meter, and L dash to be used is 2.5 meter. So effective area is now 2.3 by 2.5, that is 5.75 square meters. So these are the very initial steps that you need to exercise the moment the problem is given. Okay, so for a given eccentricity, calculate effective width and effective length. So in this sum, the eccentricity is present in the direction of footing with the 3 meter. So therefore L dash shall be taken as L minus 2E, that is 3 minus 2 into 0.35. So upon calculation what you will get is 2.3 meter. So after calculation of L dash and B dash, so B dash is coming out to be more than the L dash, so you need to reproportion such that B dash to be used is minimum of B dash and L dash. So then your L dash will become B dash. So B dash is 2.3 meter now and L dash is 2.5 meter. So calculate effective area. So these are the bearing capacity factor values. Again, I request please check it. NC is 30.14, NQ is 18.4, N gamma is 22.4. This N gamma shall be less than NQ.
N gamma 15.1, sir.
Yeah, so
15.64.
Yeah, correct. 15.64. Very good. So N gamma is 15.64, NC is 30.14, NQ is 18.4. Okay, so up to this point, there is no question. Straightforward. So then let us come to the calculation of shape factors. So I reiterate again, either you can stick to these equations or better you try to use our previous equations. where for pi corresponding to 10 greater than or equal to 10 degree, your FC is 1 plus 0.2 into B by L into tan square 45 plus 5 by 2, and FQ and F gamma both are 1 plus 0.1 into V by L into tan 45 plus 5 by 2. Okay, so FCS is approximately everybody is saying 1.5 something. FQS also 1.5 something. So it's very good. So almost close values. Okay, F gamma S we can take as a 0 because the last term is by default becoming 0 when you take the inclined load. You take the inclined load. Is it okay? Can I go for depth factor calculation? Or anybody is noting down? So those who has not done are noted down. So please note down the calculation of safe factors, FCS, FQS and F gamma S. But if we follow our old equations, I don't think so the last term is 0. Let me take you to last equations, that there should not be any confusion. Yeah. So these are the equations for footing with the inclined load. So here in this case it will not become 0. So here in this case the F gamma will not become 0. I do not know why he has given F gamma is 0. So I request you all to note down these equations, inclination factors. FCI, FQI is 1 minus beta by 90 whole square. F gamma is 1 minus beta by 5 whole square. Oh, all right.
Sir, it will be 0 here also.
Correct.
The beta and pi are same. No? So
Correct. So beta is 30, pi is 30. So 1 minus 1, it is 0. Okay, so for those who did not understand, so try to use these equations. Anyhow, you will get F gamma as 0. F gamma is 0 because beta is 30 in our case and pi is also given as 30. So beta is this one. So 30 by 31, 1 minus 1, it is 0. F gamma is 0. So I request for those who did not understand or note down the inclination factors, please note down. FCI is FQI is 1 minus beta by 90 whole square. F gamma I is 1 minus beta by pi whole square. So beta is calculated as 30 degree. So in case of FCI and FQI, it is 1 minus 30 by 90 whole square. So therefore you will get some values of FCI and FQI. In case of F gamma I, It is 1 minus 30 by 30. So what you will get is 0. Yeah, so these are the depth factors. So df by d is 1.5 by 2.5. So in case of the depth factor calculation, so use b, not b dash. Use b, not b dash. So based on that, calculate FQD and FCD, FQD and FCD and F gamma D. So FQD is when you use this equation, you are going to get 1.173. FCD is 1.183. So if you use the previous equations, can anybody tell me what are the values of FCD and FQD?
Sir, 1.2 and 1.1 respectively.
This is 1.2
Yes.
and this is 1.1.
FQD is 1.1.
FQD is 1.1. So this is 1.1 and this is 1.2. Very good. And in fact, F gamma D is also 1.2, 1.1.
Yes,
Gamma D is also 1. Then these are the values of inclination factors. FCI and FQI is 1 minus beta by 90 square. This is 0.444. F gamma I is 0 because it is 1 minus beta by pi. So 30 by 30. So it will become 0. So substitute all the terms in QU equation. So QU is nothing but C and C, FC, FQ, F gamma I plus Q and Q. So FQD, F gamma D, F gamma I, QI. So QS, QD and QI. So in our case, what is the value of QU?
It should be same that value, no sir.
Either this value or suppose N gamma is.
No sir,
Okay,
that is 0, no sir, that term.
That is 0. That is 0, correct. So QU is 1012.14 kilonewton per square meter. If you substitute all the previous terms into the ultimate bearing capacity equation. So this is the bearing capacity, and you can convert the bearing capacity into bearing load, but by multiplying with area, effective area. So capital QU is nothing but ultimate bearing capacity multiplied by effective area. So ultimate bearing capacity is 1012.14 and effective area is 5.75. So what you get is 5819.8 kilonewton. So this is the amount of load shall be taken by soil. Okay, but what about the bearing pressure coming from the footing? That is in terms of Q max and Q minimum. In terms of Q max and Q minimum. So for that you need to calculate. The first thing is that you need to ensure that the eccentricity is within the middle third. So here given eccentricity is 0.35 meter. So you take it is in the length direction L by 6, that is 3 by 6, 0.5 meter. So 0.35 is less than 0.5. So therefore, so it is complying the middle third rule. Okay. So this also indicates that there is no possibility of tension development because the eccentricity is within the middle third. So then calculate Q max, that is the bearing pressure because of the eccentric load or because of the column load. So the Q max is equals to Q allowable by B into L into 1 plus 6E by L. So if you want to calculate Q minimum, instead of 1 plus 6E by L, it will be 1 minus 6E by L. So Q max is equals to, here it is given as 410. 410. So you need to calculate Q allowable. Q allowable. So because Q max is given. So Q allowable by B into L into 1 plus 6E by L. So we know all the geometry except the axial load. Except the axial load. Rather axial load, it is given how much is the pressure coming. Okay. So you equate to 410, then calculate the Q allowable. Calculate the Q allowable by simplifying this equation. So that is 1808.3. Then factor of safety is nothing but Q ultimate divided by Q allowable. So Q ultimate is calculated as 5819. Q allowable is calculated as 1808.3 kilometer. So this will give you 3.22. So please note down. So since the factor of safety which you are getting is larger than 3, so the design is good. Now the question remains is, suppose if the factor of safety is less than 3, what shall we do? What is the precautionary measure that we will exercise if the factor of safety is less than 3?
The increasing the dimensions of footing.
Yeah, so one of the options is increase the geometry of the footing, maybe length or maybe width, whichever is more effective. So based on your understanding, suppose if you look at this equation, you will easily understand if I increase the width, what will happen to the bearing capacity, or if I increase the width, what will happen to the bearing capacity. Okay, so anybody has any question? Is it clear to everyone, or do you have any questions?
Sir, a factor of safety is 1012.14 divided by 410, right, sir? Like that we have done.
That is true. That is valid in case if it is non-eccentric footing. Okay. If it is non-eccentric, then you can directly take QU by Q max. QU by Q max. But in case of the eccentricity, you need to calculate this allowable. That is because in case of the Q max, you are taking the overall geometry, but in case of the bearing capacity, you need to take the effective area. Okay, suppose if you take this QU and Q max, so this it's not totally, but indirectly indicates there is no eccentricity.
So then in that case, sir, but we don't do like load by load, na, sir. We do stress by stress like that.
Correct. You can do stress by stress or load by load. But the stress by stress is valid if you don't have a change in the area, base area. See, for example, what is happening? See, this is the footing. Okay. So in case of uniform load distribution, it is uniform from the both top and bottom. Okay. For the entire width or length of the footing is contributing for load resistance as well as the load reception. But in case of the eccentric footing, only effective area means this one, only this area is contributing for the load receiving, not over the entire. Say, I don't know whether I could able to explain you properly or not. Suppose if I take the plan view of the footing, so it is this area, this hatched area, only contributing for load transfer, not the overall area. So this is L minus 2E and this is B. So this is B. Okay, so in case of no eccentricity, it is L by B, both the cases. But in case with the eccentricity, it is L minus 2E by B. L minus 2E by B. That is the reason you have to take the load. Good. Any other questions? So note down this sum. I'm not going to solve it. So I'm giving you people as a choice. So there is another problem because you should understand it. So here there are three things. This is a footing subjected to, we can say in two ways we can read this one. Footing subjected to axial load, moment and horizontal load. Or the other way of understanding this one is footing or eccentric footing subjected to the vertical load and the horizontal load. Eccentric footing subjected to vertical load and horizontal load. So I'm giving an open question here. So how do you solve this one? Can anybody tell me? I will greatly appreciate.
So the write-up of the question is not needed.
And write-up is not required. You try to understand the logic of this question. You can solve like you need to calculate the bearing capacity only. There is nothing else.
You can take the horizontal force also as a moment, sir.
That is true. So how do you account for that one?
That is also like h into 1.5, sir. That you can take as a vertical force with some eccentricity. Again, you have to add the moment to 165.
Exactly. So one of the simple solution here is, see, when you say the
Sir,
moment
but H is unknown. Sir.
H is unknown. That is true. You are asked to determine the H. But if you look at the all previous tutorial or our class discussions, nowhere we did discuss about the horizontal force. So even if you look at the previous two sums, we were considering the axial load and the moment. But here, what was the meaning of the moment here? So it was the moment means the relocation of the footing from one end to the center. One end to the center. Say for example, let me show it here. So in this case, this is simplified as this problem into, say this is center line, and this is eccentricity, and this is Q. This is Q. So if you try to draw the free body diagram of this right side diagram, so this can be written as Q, whereas moment is nothing but Q multiplied by E. Q multiplied by E. Okay, so both are same. But here we never talked about, in the right side diagram, we never talked about the horizontal load. So but here in this case, there is a horizontal load also, so exists on the sample. So this is accounted for by simply adding to the moment term 165 plus h into 1.5. H into 1.5 meter. Okay. So now here the eccentricity shall be given, or you need to calculate whatever. So some data has to be given to solve this one. But fundamentally, you need to understand where to incorporate the horizontal load in the given vertical load and the moment. Once this logic is understood, then you can able to solve the problem. So this is the free body diagram. So this is the initial given sum. This is the given sum. So the footing subjected to vertical load, the moment, and the horizontal load. So this horizontal load is replaced and attached to the given moment. So once this logic is understood, so you can take the previous data, the data from the previous problem, and you can try to solve for the magnitude of H. For the magnitude of H. So is this clear to everyone? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody has any question? in simplifying the given sum? So once this simple logic is understood, you can take the relevant data from the previous sum. You can try to calculate the magnitude of H. So similarly, so this is another sum. So this is another problem. I am not solving this one also because we already solved it. It is only the case how we see the problem in a different way. So again, I am leaving it to open forum. So can anybody tell me, so how to convert the given sum into our regular routine footing with eccentricity?
Here, sir, one eccentricity moment will be there and one moment due to horizontal force.
Okay.
Sir, you told that here inclination is not possible, sir. Here.
No. Here, yeah, true. Here inclination is not possible. Correct. But how do you simplify that problem?
The horizontal and vertical component, and after that change to the moment and vertical force.
Exactly. So first you resolve the 800 kilonewton into the vertical component and the horizontal component. So this is 800 sine 60. So this is 800 sine 60, that is a vertical component, and horizontal component is 800 cos 60. So now I have resolved the vertical load into the inclined load into vertical and horizontal components. So therefore, so I have converted this is now as a footing with the axial load. Okay, because the case of inclined load is not valid. If this footing has to be inclined load, the location of the arrow shall be at the foundation level. The location of the arrow shall be at the foundation level, not on the ground surface. So that is technically wrong, as one of you rightly said. Okay, so once you resolved the vertical and horizontal components, but still the eccentricity lies. Still the eccentricity lies. So what you need to do is, you need to relocate this to the center position. So here the total width is 3 meter, 1.9 plus 1.1, 3 meter. So at the middle of the footing, say that is at 1.5 meter. So this is 1.5 meter and 1.5 meter. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm extremely sorry. There was some power failure inside the campus. Okay, so we have seen the last sum. If you have any question, you can please ask me, because almost time is over. Anybody has any difficulty in understanding the last two sums?
Sir, the assignment where we should send.
Assignment. Achha, one more thing I want to ask. When you people are coming or you already came?
Fourth and fifth, sir, March.
March 4th and 5th you people are coming.
Yes, sir.
Achha, okay. You can send me to my email. I will give you the email for that. Otherwise, you know my email, na? bhrario@iitbbs. So for the same thing, you can send it. Or if you can able to upload on Foundation Engineering Teams web platform, that is also fine.
So you can create an appointment and we will upload there.
Okay, let me see it. So this is the last sum in the tutorial. So this is the solution. So first you resolve the the inclined force into vertical component and the horizontal component, and the horizontal component multiplied with the depth of footing will become one of the components of the eccentricity. So there are two things. The first eccentricity is nothing but the vertical component of load, 692.8 multiplied by eccentricity. So here if you calculate eccentricity, 1.5, 1.9 minus 1.5, that is 0.4. So 692.8 into 0.4 multiplied by 400 into 1.2. So here you have to see the signs, clockwise or anti-clockwise movement. I think here one is clockwise, another is anti-clockwise. So that's why one is deducted from the another. Okay, so that is a little important. Just have a look into it. Which otherwise the solution is remains same like the previous one. So these are the different possibilities of the load that can exist. But these are some are hypothetical conditions. Some may be realistic, but most of them are hypothetical conditions. Only you have to understand how to resolve them into our desired free body diagram. So if anybody has any question,